So maybe it's just the circles I keep track of online, but I feel like I've seen a disproportionate amount of hate towards Joey, Valance, and Bray as part of this new album cycle. Everyone's got haters, I guess, and it's not like JBB are creating this sort of earth-shattering, super deep, philosophical commentary that is worth getting super passionate about defending. If you don't like them, then whatever. I do think they're great though, clearly, and a lot of the more visceral hatred I've seen towards them online has always felt like the mental equivalent of like this image. The reason I do bring up criticism in this HYPERYOUTH review is that it does seem like this is a lot of people's first JVB release. Either that, or they've never really fucked with what these dudes brought to the table in the first place. I mean, the fact that HYPERYOUTH is the duo's most introspective, experimental, and conceptual work yet is hidden behind the fact that they are just kinda goofy. But hey, you can be goofy and serious, people have layers. Like Joey says, bring back being chalant. So true, Joey. But yeah, I get it. I thought Punk Tactics was a decent-ish debut that was just very obvious about who it was influenced by. And No Hands was a great follow-up where Joey and Bray still sounded a little too similar to Ad Rock, Mike D, and MCA. And don't get me wrong, I thought the modern contextualization of those sounds on No Hands was cool. But the JVB detractors were also kinda rad. They need to set themselves apart, give themselves a more unique sound on the next record, or they might just never shed that label. And so yeah, I mean, despite the fact that I've always liked what they've come out with, I was a little concerned about what HYPERYOUTH could become. For one thing, versatility is not as easy as it might seem, and they might not have the ability to switch things up. I feel like that's a fairly reasonable concern. But actually, I was more worried that they'd lose their personality. I like that they're not trying to be super wordy lyricists. I like that they can make dumb music for partying. I hope they never stop making it. Weirdly enough, when the album dropped, I saw the comments about the lyricism before I listened to it, and it actually made me like so much more confident that HYPERYOUTH is going to be great. Because what even are JVB if not huge fucking dogs? And yeah, this album's still thankfully got some of the nerdiest lines that, against my better judgment, I kinda love.
Went for some Chinese food and the fortune cookie told me I was goated. Now what you know is who you know. Love you more than FL Studio.
Half amazing and half Asian. I'm so good you can say I'm amazing.
God, this goes so hard on mute.
So much swag, call me a swag.
Might have been a bridge too far for me though, Joey. Sorry. But anyway, JVB are still JVB. Thank God. The most important question about HYPERYOUTH has been answered. Their lyricism still a bit of a filter, but they're self-aware enough that it's never really bothered me personally. But beyond the surface level, what is HYPERYOUTH trying to be, and does it succeed? Well, the most prominent theme among a lot of the tracks on HYPERYOUTH tends to revolve around getting older. More specifically, Joey and Bray have the perspective of two guys who don't mind getting older, but seem less interested in growing up. And I suppose that's not a perspective that should shock me from the guys who were bragging last year about being the baddest bitches in the club.
Who's the baddest bitch in this club? I'm the baddest bitch in this club.
There's just a perspective shift that I didn't really see coming, a maturity that comes with real introspection. And I can hear the cries of, is the maturity in the room with us right now, but I don't know what else to call the lamentations on Party's Over or the painting of their grander story on the closing track, Disco Tomorrow. And I also think they do well to balance that newfound introspection with the sort of bangers that they made their name doing. I actually think it's better than if they'd gone all in on tracks like Have to Cry. The thesis of HYPERYOUTH is that being expected to grow up and change just because you're getting older isn't always helpful, especially for guys who seem genuinely thankful for the success that was built entirely upon making fun bangers for fun people. And JVB just get that, I think. It's why they made Bust Down, which could have slotted perfectly onto their previous record. And Go Hard, where they stick to their guns and play it confidently over this rapid hip-hop beat. They want to have fun and let loose all the time, and what's the point in making an album reflecting on that if you're going to just mope about it all the time? Plus, I think there's some genuinely great, artistic progression on this record, the sort of tracks I never thought I'd really hear from JVB. See You Dance is one of those, less so for their performances, which they nail, but more for the unreal Rebecca Black hook, possibly the best chorus I've ever heard. And then, of course, there's the party song. which is just the best sort of ridiculous. The beat is insane. Super influenced by like dubstep clearly, but manipulated in such a way that it's such a catchy electronic hip-hop beat. Plus the beat switches and the performances. God, this one kills me more every single time.
I like to get wild. I like to party.
When they go the other way, when they do pull it out and make a song that is just genuinely super sincere about their current headspaces, I think it ends up sticking the landing as well for the most part. I talked a little about the closer, but genuinely, as far as these sort of super grandiose, like roll the credits, thank you pieces at the ends of albums go, Disco Tomorrow is probably one of the better ones. Have to Cry is just really great. I mean, the beat and the hook are pretty traditional, like pop rap, but I really like how upfront they both are about how flexing and confidence can be used as a cover up to mask anxieties. And then there's Live Right. Jesus, man, what a single. There's something about that chorus about being scared of change, but believing that it'll be okay as long as you've got people who care about you to support you. That just really hits home for me more than any other track here. I will say though that JVB are kind of an inaccurate power hitter when it comes to driving home more serious tracks. I think the super heavy ones they knock out of the park, but there's tracks that run lower that maybe don't hit as hard emotionally, but also don't have the production or the tunes on the other end to make up for it. Myself did mostly feel like a weaker version of Have to Cry with a less impactful delivery. There's also Is This Love, which I get what they were going for, I do, but neither Joey nor Bray really kind of nailed this more subdued delivery or the subject matter, I don't think. So, you know, there's work to be done there. I think Hyperyouth isn't perfect. In fact, I like it about as much as I like To No Hands. I just think I have more respect for this album's sincerity. And ultimately, respect for the attempt goes a long way getting me onto the board with this, especially when the tunes are there to back it up. More than any other JVB release, I left this thinking, damn, Joey Valance is a really fucking great producer. And at the end of the day, when I think about what I wanted from all of this, energy, maturity, development, bangers, introspection, variety, I think we got it all. There's always another step forward and another step upward, but Joey Valance and Bray's Hyperyouth is a surprisingly mature reflection on not being mature. And also it just goes off in the club. I've been reliably informed by sources online that telling people to like and subscribe is actually helpful, so please do if you enjoyed the review. There are more coming for the rest of the year. I'm enjoying these sort of short form reviews while I work on the longer projects and get started on my end of year lists. But otherwise, appreciate you watching. Have a good one.